parents of Year 11, thank you so much for watching and listening to this. My name is Andrew Loveday, I'm the head of Year 11. We have met last year when I did the same thing, Raising Achievement Evening for Year 10. Obviously that in person. I'm really sorry that we can't provide that this year. We have packed this with a lot of information, however, so I really do hope that this is just as useful. And if you do have any questions, you will find my email address at the end of this presentation, and you're welcome to email me anytime. The first thing I would like to discuss is the year ahead, and there are obviously a few uncertainties. However, we do have definitive dates for you already, and these are really, really important. So the first has already happened. We had the 7th of September, we had the threshold exams. Students have already started to receive some of the grades for these and have discussions with their teachers and receive feedback. You will be receiving the results yourselves in October, so please be on the lookout for those. The second really important date is going to be December 7th, which is when our full mock examinations begin. These are paramount. It is really important the students are prepared as possible for these. We obviously don't want a repeat of last year, but we do need to make sure that students are getting the best results possible at the earliest stages in Year 11. Teachers are working really hard to prepare them for this. The threshold exams that have just happened have informed us really well as well of where they are and where they need to be. And obviously with the amount of revision they are doing, with your help and with teachers doing everything they can, we hope to get them to the best possible place for those mock exams. We've also got the week starting the 1st of February, where they're going to have another set of in-class exams. These tend to be focused on what the students needed to focus more on after the mocks in December. So for instance, if in English, as teachers, we notice that they are lacking in the Shakespeare area, then these exams are going to focus on that. They won't be a full set of exams, more a focus on specific topics that teachers know need to be addressed. And that takes us to the 8th of March when we've got more mocks, mini mock exams. These, again, just as important as all of the set of mocks that they will have sat by then. More practice, more important for them to understand exactly how the whole works and how the whole system of exams is gonna work when it happens for real. And then, of course, that moves us on to the GCSE exams. The date stands as is right now. You will be getting more information about later, and obviously if we find anything out, we would be letting you know, because I know that there is talk about them maybe being moved into the summer or a little bit later. As far as we are concerned, nothing is happening. They are going to start in May the same way they always do every year, and we need to be ready for that. Like I said, if we have any more information, then we will let you know as soon as possible. I would also like to address Results Day because it is just such an important day in the students' lives. This year wasn't any different. It was still a really, really important day. I wanted to share some of the great results that we had. You can see them on screen now. Some fantastic results from really fantastic and resilient students. It was really difficult for them. The fact that they didn't get to sit their actual GCSE exams doesn't take any credit away from the hard work they put in, from the hard work teachers put in. And obviously these students had put themselves in a position where, given their mock exams and the hard work that they'd put in for years, they were able to get really, really good results, which is why, again, it is just so paramount and really, really important that our Year 11s this year are working as hard so that we know that when this day comes, they can be just as happy as those in the pictures that you can see right there. These are some of the things that we are also doing to help Year 11. Just wanted to let you know we've got in-lesson support and interventions. That means that some students are receiving extra lessons where they can, when needed as well. There's after-school intervention sessions every single day. These are running from Monday to Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. every single week. Students have been allotted a specific subject on a specific day, depending on the requirements of what they need and how much extra revision they need. As part of these, we've included what we've called guided revision, which also means that certain students are staying certain days from 3 to 4, again, in an environment where we know that they can learn, where we know that it is best suited for them to be asking questions, to be doing revision, to be keeping up with the demanding work that is being set for them during Year 11. We are going to be offering offering holiday school as well. This is going to start in the October half term. Given the current circumstances, this is going to be online, but it will be provided on MS Teams, where students are going to have master classes and other resources put on there for them to continue their revision and their studying even while they are at home. We're looking at the possibility of Saturday schools, although these don't normally start until after December. We will keep you in the loop as in regards to these and what is going to happen. Don't forget, we're selling revision guides in school. If a student needs one, they can just come and ask me, find me, Miss Osman, Mr. Carrasco, Mr. Oliveira, anyone from the Year 11 team, and we would be happy to point them in the right direction. Practice exams all the time. These are going to be really, really important. That's the one thing I cannot stress enough, is that students need to be continually testing themselves at home, in school. The more practice papers, past papers they can find online and do, the better. We also do a lot of walking, talking mocks in lessons. This means that the students are the teacher walks through how the exam should be taken. They come up with answers together, write some of them down together, just to give the students, again, more of that practice that they, excuse me, that they need in order to be able to have all the confidence necessary for sitting their exams properly. We are also going to be looking at drop-down days. Again, these are going to happen later in the year, where, for example, if science needs it, we will dedicate a whole day to science to make sure students are catching up with their work. If there is anything else you can think of, please just ask. If there's any other ways in which you think we can help, please just ask as well. I would also like to talk to you about what we call the Year 11 mindset. There are a few things that we need to go over that students need to get used to, because it will be really important for them to start creating a habit out of these things, so that when they get into the sports hall for their exams, this is just second nature to them and they can carry on as normal. The first three are attendance, equipment, and uniform. All of these things affect their day-to-day school life, but they would affect their exams even more so. Attendance, for example, right now is paramount. We need students to be in school as much as possible every single day, between the hours of 8:20 and 4 o'clock every day, no exception. They've already missed a lot from last year, and we need them to be in school, simple as. Obviously, attendance would also be a major concern for an exam. If a student is used to coming into school late and they arrive late to an exam, they would not be admitted in the sports hall and they would risk failing that paper. So we need to start creating a habit of them coming in on time every single day now. It is a very similar story with equipment. They need to make sure that they've got what they need: calculators, pens, pencils, rulers. All of these things are really important. Without the proper equipment, they can't learn properly in lessons. And again, if they were used to people handing them things and for some reason they don't bring the right equipment to the right paper, they might risk not being able to answer that paper fully on the day. It is a very similar thing with uniform. It is part of the Academy's policy that students are in full uniform all day, every day. Of course, this is really important for us, but again, it is really important as well for the exams, because they are only allowed in the sports hall if they're wearing the correct uniform and looked presentable. A few other things that we need to talk about. Stress is going to be a factor, especially with this year group. Like I said, they have missed a lot of schooling in the last few months. I can tell that some of them are already stressed. The school is trying to handle this in the best possible way. We've got people that are trying to help. However, and this is the big however, we can only help when we know there is something going on. It is really important that you speak to the students, speak to your children. If they are stressed, please tell them to let us know. If they are a little bit embarrassed, that's normal. Please tell us yourselves. We need to tackle this together, because if a student is stressed and goes into the exam, it is very easy for them to panic, very easy for them to forget everything they've learned. And again, we want them to go into that exam and the sports hall in the calmest and best possible mindset. Sleep is also really important, and this is something that teenagers can struggle with sometimes. They need to be getting their full 8-9 hours of sleep every single day. The school day cannot change. That means they need to be in school by 8:20. What can change is the time they go to bed and some of the ways in which they go to bed. They need to be going to bed early enough. They need to be sleeping properly. That means not looking at their phones before they go to sleep, not watching the television, not going on the PlayStation, but actually getting proper sleep. This will help them in the exam. Again, it's about creating habit, and they need to come rested and secure. A diet is also just as important. If they are not used to having breakfast, but on the day of an exam, they've got 3 papers, they haven't had any breakfast, they're not going to do very well. Okay, we need them to be used to creating a habit. Again, I'm sorry for repeating myself, but creating a habit of their bodies understanding what they are having every single day. They need to be used to it. It needs to be something that's not going to cause any sort of stomach problems. It's got to be something that is going to be nutritious enough to keep them going for half a day if they've got exams that day. And they can't just try this on the day of the paper. They need to start getting used to these things now. So it is really important that if they're not in the habit of having breakfast at home, they actually start doing that. Also on diet, it is really important that they're not taking lots of sugar while they're revising. These might create spikes and sort of like get them really focused for 1 or 2 minutes, and then when that high is gone, it means that they would find it really difficult to stay awake, or really difficult to focus, really difficult to read. So again, just it has to be a healthy diet, overall diet, and they need to start practicing what they're going to be having for breakfast. The phone is a really big thing as well. Students cannot really revise with a phone. It is just not productive. They will get distracted. They are bound to get distracted. The best way to revise at home is to do past papers, to work on homework set by teachers. The phone is not going to help with that. You need to come to some sort of compromise where you take it away from them while they are revising. There are special apps that you can download. Just Google them, that will lock their phones for an hour or for half an hour or for 2 hours while they are revising. It is really, really important that they are not revising with their phones. It's the same thing when they're going to go to bed. It would be much better if they leave their phone charging downstairs or in a different room to where they are sleeping, so that they are not tempted to be checking it every 2 minutes if they are awake. It is just habits that we need to start creating, because as I said, when they do take these exams in the summer, they're not going to have their phone with them to do it. They're studying with music, revising with music. I understand all of these things can be good sometimes. However, as I said, the best possible practice they could have is the one where they practice exactly as they would in the sports hall, and they won't have a phone for that, they won't have music for that, and they need to get used to it. And finally, I do want to make a point about entertainment. If a student plays football, they should continue playing football. If they take part in other sports or activities, they need to continue doing this. Do try and have, obviously with social distancing and everything else going on, and as much as is permitted, some form of exercise or activity that they're doing to get their minds off of these exams, as these are going to be really important for their mental health and well-being as well. And finally, we are going to be sending out with this video subject-specific advice that will reach you in the form of a Word document. If it doesn't, please let me know. It will have essentially things that the students can be doing specifically for each subject at home, and how to better get on with some revision, the sort of revision guides they should be looking to buy, links that they can click on and have a look at on the internet, and the detailed information of who the director of learning for each department is, so that you may be in contact with them should you need to. Again, thank you very much. If you do have any questions or need anything, don't hesitate in phoning the school and asking for me, or in the next slide you'll find my email address. Please feel free to email me as well.